How powerful is Ghost Rider? MCU Power Scaling. Let's go.
The Spirit of Vengeance is one of the most powerful entities in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and flies far under the radar in terms of the power hierarchy within the MCU, as the demon really only...
I've been getting real into like the DC MCU universe. Like I just got done going through the whole, like almost the whole Green Lantern Corps, and may I say, it's a lot.
And easily one of the most powerful beings we've ever seen. The Spirit of Vengeance's origins are unknown, but we do know that Dormammu at one time absorbed the Spirit's dimension into his Dark Dimension, where the Spirit resided until eventually it escaped to the dimension.
So Dormammu had to play in this too?
Where it found and
That's wild.
Johnny Blaze, who became the first Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Eventually, Johnny transferred the Spirit of Vengeance to Robbie Reyes to save his life, and Robbie pledged to punish those who had wronged him in the past.
Oh yeah, I remember Robbie Reyes now.
Ghost Rider comes in contact with various agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and humans, and even the infinitely powerful Darkhold. As we do with all of our power scaling videos, we will discuss Ghost Rider's strength, durability, speed, as well as all the equipment and hacks abilities that the character possesses. In the power department, Ghost Rider is a beast, directly scaling above the likes of Hulk and Thor in terms of raw strength. We learn in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 2, Episode 15, that Bruce Banner was once placed in a S.H.I.E.L.D. safe house after the events of Loki's invasion. The safe house walls were made of a vibranium alloy that was able to contain a Hulk rampage, which makes sense for Hulk's power at this time, as Thor's overhead Mjolnir strikes could do nothing to Captain America's 100% pure vibranium shield. In Season 4 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which takes place after the Avengers had their civil war...
I might just gotta watch it for the Ghost Rider.
We find out that S.H.I.E.L.D. has upgraded their containment modules. Leo Fitz states that the adaptive compound they created in their new containment modules is the most sophisticated that S.H.I.E.L.D. has ever made, making it more durable than the vibranium unit that Hulk was kept in. And Ghost Rider is able to break out of this new containment unit. Once Ghost Rider does break out of the containment unit, Fitz goes on to say this.
That's not possible. That's not
this
possible.
This line of dialogue is very interesting to me, as S.H.I.E.L.D. would have very detailed dossiers on each and every Avenger and know the relative strength of each, especially at this point, as Thor and Iron Man were able to break apart Sokovia together, which is calculated at over 100 megatons, or around mountain level. So Fitz claiming that this should be impossible is extremely impressive for Ghost Rider, as it implies that neither Thor, Iron Man, or Hulk should be able to break out of it with the power levels that the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents are aware of.
Okay.
As for durability, Ghost Rider is just as imposing. In the mid-season finale, Ghost Rider endures a blast from Eli Morrow's bomb, which could destroy half of Los Angeles. The energy needed to do this is roughly 600 megatons, which is 12 times more powerful than the world's most powerful nuclear bomb, and is again mountain level, making his attack potency and durability very, very consistent. But seeing how easily Ghost Rider breaks out of the containment module,
yeah, that's kind of crazy.
He returns later in that season completely fine after being hit with a 600 megaton blast, you can easily make the case that he's far more durable than what we're able to calculate.
Okay, so he is a lot more fucking powerful.
And immunities, which give him an insane advantage in almost any situation. Of course, he's completely immune to fire,
yeah, I might just
but he
watch this too.
also no-sells powerful electrical currents. Icers, which were invented by S.H.I.E.L.D. to put anyone to sleep after being shot, and he is able to endure while being poisoned by radioactive plutonium and being impaled multiple times. And he wasn't even in the full Ghost Rider form at this time. Being near the plutonium would kill any normal person 10 times over, so being skewered at the same time doesn't seem like that big a deal. Of course, Robbie, in his Ghost Rider form, take a ton of abuse throughout his various appearances, but Ghost Rider seems to be completely immune to any sort of lethal damage dealt to Robbie's body, and if Robbie is hurt, a simple transformation into Ghost Rider instantly heals any mortal wounds.
That explains a lot.
Entire face,
because you turn into a full fucking skeleton.
Transforms, exposing his bare skull. So of course his skin would need to regenerate after he transforms back. And now we get to the tricky part, the speed. As we've mentioned in multiple other Marvel Cinematic Universe videos, the entire universe scales off of Carol Danvers. Captain Marvel in her solo film has shown reaction and combat speeds exceeding Mach 100, and during Endgame she's able to fly down to Thanos' planet, search it, and return at insane speeds, reaching Mach 300 at a low end, and over Mach 1000 at a high end, which is over 7,000
I've never seen Captain Marvel.
miles per hour.
I heard it was so bad.
In terms, massively hypersonic.
I heard it was like not good.
So how does this relate to Ghost Rider? Well, Thanos scales to Captain Marvel as we see him react to her in Endgame. Thor also scales to Thanos, obviously, as they fight multiple times. Hela scales to Thor. Hogun scales to Hela as he reacts to her attacks in Ragnarok. Sif is stated to be second only to Thor in battle, so she would scale to Hogun's speed off of this. Quake scales to Sif. And finally, Ghost Rider is able to react to Quake's attacks. Makes sense? Good. The entire MCU scales off of Captain Marvel, which is pretty much all you need to know about the Marvel Cinematic Universe speed scaling, and the chain is very consistent throughout the MCU. Pretty much every single character that has any sort of real feats or scaling scales eventually to Thanos, who scales to Carol. And other Kree can react to Carol's binary form, and there are Kree all over Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. As for other hacks, abilities, and equipment, this may be where Ghost Rider burns the brightest. Using the Spirit of Vengeance, Ghost Rider can imbue various objects with his demonic power, granting that item the same amount of durability as his physical form. He does this to Robbie's muscle car, which when imbued with the Spirit of Vengeance's Hellfire, can no-sell rocket launcher attacks. And he can even use the Hellfire to increase the speed of his vehicle. While Robbie can transfer his power to any object from his car to a crowbar, he typically infuses a simple chain with his Hellfire, which gives him an excellent defensive and offensive option. With his Hellfire, he can also conjure walls of fire and emit the flames from his hands when a weapon isn't handy. If you're touched by his Hellfire and somehow survive the ordeal, the burn
nigga.
Soul and your body will never heal. Not even Inhumans with advanced healing powers could heal burns caused by the Ghost Rider's Hellfire. He can easily incinerate a human body to ashes, and can even see incorporeal forms, such as spirits, and can consume these souls with Hellfire, destroying someone permanently.
Yeah, he did.
Imagine Ghost Rider got into a scuffle with Doctor Strange, and the Sorcerer Supreme attempted to use his astral form offensively. Not only could Ghost Rider see Strange's astral body, but could interact with his spirit without being in the astral plane, and could destroy Strange permanently with Hellfire. But maybe Strange could attempt to banish the Spirit of Vengeance to another dimension with his sling ring, or conjure the mirror dimension to keep the Ghost Rider trapped for eternity. Well, Ghost Rider has a sling ring of his own. You could even argue that he has resistance to magical attacks, as even beings created by the Dark Dimension via the Darkhold, such as Ada, are terrified of the spirit. So with his Hellfire chain, he can create portals between dimensions, and could even travel in and out of the Dark Dimension at will by the end of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 4. The Spirit of Vengeance also grants the user a high level of mind hacks resistance, meaning that mental manipulation does not work on anyone possessed by the Ghost Rider. Lucy Bauer was able to induce madness in anyone that she touched, but Ghost Rider ignored all of her attempts. Not even untold time spent in the Dark Dimension, which would typically turn anyone trapped there into a mindless one, could affect the Spirit of Vengeance, or even Robbie when he went to the Dark Dimension willingly. Having been stuck in the Dark Dimension for untold centuries, the Ghost Rider has...
That is some crazy shit.
And in that picture is this E.T. He puts the camera over in that direction.
That's some crazy
shit. Has the ability to sense and track down dark matter, which
so he can go through his own portals into the dark world, resist mind games.
Ghost Rider is obsessed with sending anything from the Dark Dimension back there. In my opinion, Ghost Rider could take on the Avengers and possibly win by himself.
Yes.
His resistances and durability would render any
basically
attack useless, not to mention his regeneration. He's immune to electricity and magical attacks,
so that's a new argument now that Ghost Rider can actually probably take on, could kill the fucking Avengers.
Characters like Cap and Hulk would need to get close to do much, and he could simply destroy their physical forms with Hellfire, or even their souls. So really, Wanda and Strange would need to come up with a way to separate the spirit from Robbie, and then seal the Rider in another dimension to win. Not easy to accomplish, as we've already seen that Ghost Rider only leaves its host to possess another, and we don't know of any way to actually remove the Rider from its host. But there's another ability of Ghost Riders that we've yet to discuss.
Which is?
His ability to look into one's heart and
Oh
soul.
yeah!
He uses this ability to judge someone to determine if they are worthy of punishment.
Yeah.
You can argue that this is an empathic ability, simply looking into someone's
soul to
determine if they are good or not. But he seems to be able to pick out specific deeds that someone has done, as with the pedophile that he kills during his hunt for vengeance. So, I mean, I guess you could argue...
Let me look into your soul real
look
quick.
into Wanda or Doctor Strange's mind, see their plan, and then act accordingly. So, in the end, Ghost Rider is absolutely insane, and it's really a shame that his show that was meant to be on
the spirit of vengeance is basically fucking unbreakable.
Returns in some form or fashion within the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
So basically, whoever becomes Ghost Rider is a fucking god.
He's extremely powerful, and that's all I've got.
They're a fucking god. Let's just say that.
Like and subscribe; it does really help us out. And comment down
powerful
below
Norse guy, the most powerful Norse god of the 9
rounds.
rounds.
Power scaling video on next, and remember the motto.
Like, it don't even make sense. It don't even make sense. Like, you might as well say goodbye to your life. As soon as you see that nigga come up to you, full Ghost Rider come up, especially if you got that charger, especially if you got that whip, you can't even see my hand. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Yep, you're done. Deuce.